Film Buff-ering.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us once again to another episode of Film Buffering. I'm one of your hosts, Colter Harkins. I'm here with my co-hosts, Alex Tate and Todd Foley, here to talk to you about another great film. This week, we're talking about the film The King of Staten Island.
I like your tattoos. What are those numbers on your arm?
Oh, that's the date my dad died. He was a fireman. Died in a fire 17 years ago.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Don't be. It's fine.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Not your dad.
You can't focus on Scott anymore, honey. He's 24 years old, Marjorie.
Don't worry, Mom. I know your daughter got smart and went to college and abandoned us. But I'm still here. I'm gonna be here forever.
Yeah.
People told me slow my roll.
I want to become a real tattoo artist.
Your work is mad inconsistent. Obama ain't right.
Oh, I love your tattoos. This is my favorite.
I've been dating someone for a little while now.
The first guy you date in 17 years is a fireman, just like that? You don't think that's weird?
You're gonna have to pull your weight a little more around here. Maybe help Ray get his kids to school.
Kelly, do you know him?
He's a new friend.
You okay? You know, you could tell me.
I'm okay.
Oh, I trained her in the car. She's not gonna break.
You ever think about putting on the jacket?
Why would you even ask me that?
What's wrong with being a fireman?
It's fine if you don't have kids, because you don't know if you're gonna come home or not.
You make everyone around you feel crazy. People are normal, then they hang out with you.
I gotta tell my mom you tried to drown me.
And let me tell you something. Your dad was a hero. And heroes are necessary. And they should be allowed to have families.
Shit together. Time is passing by very quickly.
Why do you think I smoke weed all the time? So I could slow it down. I just feel like everybody's always disappointed in me, and I never live up to anybody's expectations. Hey, thanks for listening to all this. You're one of the few people who treat me, like a person.
You're welcome.
All right, so this was Todd's pick. Todd, I know you let us in last week, but I want to hear your thoughts on this film. Please give us the director, the lead actors, and a brief synopsis of the film.
All right, let me dial this in for you here. Director is Judd Apatow. Big fan already. We have Pete Davidson, Bill Burr, Marisa Tomei, Belle Powley. Those are the big ticket names. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of this film. I'll give it away right away. I'm a sucker for stand-up comedians already, and I think Pete, Dave, Pete Davidson. Pete Davidson. Yeah, that's what I call him. It's kind of a cool nickname. PD I thought Marisa Tomei was great. Also, I love Steve Buscemi being in it. Thought they all played well off each other. So
brief synopsis of the film. If you guys haven't watched it yet, obviously we give away a lot of spoilers if you watch any of our episodes. But brief synopsis of the film. It's loosely based off of Pete Davidson's life. Pete Davidson plays a guy from Staten Island, which he is in real life, who loses his father in an accident, which he did in real life. And it's about him kind of coming to terms with growing up, being an adult, being a man, with loss, with all kinds of different things, with family, with the difficulty of moving on. There's a lot of really good stuff. It's a decently long movie. It's 2 hours, 17 minutes. Pete Davidson coming up in comedy. It was interesting. Did either of you guys watch the making of that they had on HBO along with this one?
No. He's actually trying. What a nerd.
They got into about Pete Davidson started in comedy when he was 17, so he's known Bill Burr for a long time. So you get to see them have that good relationship. And then Marisa Tomei is the one, like, besides Steve Buscemi has a small part, but Marisa Tomei is the one, like, real hardline actress in it. whereas a lot of the other people are Pete Davidson's friends, family.
There's always room for family.
Judd Apatow's daughter plays the sister. So it's all a family unit, which kind of gives it that a little bit of extra authenticity, which I thought was really, really nice in this film. I was worried when I first started watching it that it was going to be a little bit too. Sometimes when stand-up comedians do their first film, it kind of feels a little bit too based in their comedy, and so it feels like they're trying to shoehorn jokes in their jokes of the previous writing into just a plot line.
Well, I suggest you gentlemen invent a way to put a square peg in a round hole.
Where this one, it felt like it was an authentic story with jokes put into it. And so I thought they did a really nice job with finding that balance of comedy and improv and different things going into it without it getting too bogged down and trying to be too jokey, which I think Apatow is really good at, especially at this point in his career, with really grooming the young writers and creators and giving them a chance to voice, bring really good authenticity and heart to whatever story they're trying to tell. Alex, what did you think of this film? Because we haven't got to hear from you yet.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think it was extremely well done. Like you guys, I'm a huge fan of Judd Apatow. I mean, I don't think he's done anything I don't like. Maybe did he do Funny People? I didn't really like Funny People that much.
That was a weird one.
Will you give me a break one time?
Yeah.
Pretty much everything else that he's put out, I've been a big fan. He's not a family-friendly guy, that's for sure. But he puts out quality comedies usually. Usually comedies. This is kind of it is a comedy, but it's I feel like it's more of a drama with comedy in it. It was really good. It was slow at times, and I didn't really like the character. He kind of was annoying to me, but I think that was the point. And that's like him in real life, and he's like trying to grow up and become like a responsible adult and like get over just being a pothead who doesn't do anything. And I think like it was cool that the family members, all the family members like wanted him to succeed, and they kept being so disappointed that he just kept, screwing up. And I really liked the relationships he had with his mom and his sister in the film. I think they felt all super genuine. Yeah, I really did like it. I think that at times I could like kind of check out because it was pretty slow. But then I check right back in, like mentally it would be like, oh, I wonder what Drew Lock is up to or whatever, But then, let's just go right back into the movie. I liked a lot that Bo Burr let him tattoo his back, right? And then a lot of me wanted to be like, when the big reveal, I wanted it to be like this master art piece that was like, oh, this guy's actually really good at what he does. But then they like revealed the tattoos, and they're pretty terrible still. And I think that I really liked that, because I was like, oh, it's kind of like real life. Like you need practice. You can't just like go from drawing really well to because like they had the son like show the drawing that he did, and it was really phenomenal. And so you're kind of expecting Bill Burr's like back piece to be like amazing, right? Or I was. And then it's all these like terrible little drawings.
Beginner tattoos.
And some get better, like they get better, and I like that. I like that they didn't go that way where it was like, the Sistine Chapel on his back or something. Todd, what did you think of the scene where he gives the kid the tattoo and the reaction from the dad afterwards?
I thought the kids were really funny in this movie, or like just seemed very real, and I thought it was just hilarious because I feel like I've hung out with some dudes who would probably give a kid a tattoo in college. It's like such a shocking and like horrifying like notion. Like Are you serious? And the little guy, I can't remember his name. I really like him. It's like, we should not be doing this.
Stop. Put your game face on.
Don't worry, dude. This will just be on you for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Everyone else is like, yeah, let's do it. And then
his
like I
name
said
is
again,
Moises Arias.
I'm pretty sure he's the little kid from Nacho Libre.
How come we can't ever have just like a salad?
But I just love also in the reaction to like Bill Burr's reaction. Pretty much, I mean, Pete Davidson and Bill Burr play themselves slightly in different universes, but like I'm a huge Bill Burr fan. I listen to his podcast like weekly, and pretty much he plays exactly himself and is just, some poor dad from Boston who's dealing with a lot of rage issues.
It almost feels like a toned down version of Bill Burr.
Yeah.
So, normally you get the heightened version. This is the Bill Burr if he got his anger under control.
Yeah.
But let it out every now and then.
When he's cussing out Pete Davidson, but he's also trying to flirt with Marisa Tomei in like the same moment. Yeah, I just thought that was fun. The movie was a ringer for me because I just love both of those dudes so much that they could probably do a terrible movie and I would still be into it.
Apatow and him or Davidson?
Bill Burr and Pete Davidson.
Okay.
Yeah,
and I like Judd Apatow a lot too.
The most extensive role that I've seen Bill Burr in, because I've seen him in bit parts. He was in, Breaking Bad, just a very minor character, and little bits here and there, the one episode of Mandalorian, but it was my first time seeing him like really get to have a big character arc, and he did a really nice job. I was actually really impressed with his overall work with it. It felt like a genuine guy while still being, Bill Burr's essence.
Yeah, and I think he really did well in the third act, like when it kind of switched over to when Pete Davidson was living in the fire station. I really enjoyed that act, I think, the most, is like Pete Davidson's growth into like, okay, this is what my dad did. This was my dad's like, brotherhood. And Steve Buscemi killed it as well. I don't think I've seen anything Steve Buscemi hasn't killed it in. Yeah, I really like that act. And I like they didn't overdo it. He's not like, oh, I want to be a firefighter now. And I'm going to, he just like was there kind of like getting to know the people who were with his dad. I like that a lot.
One of my favorite jokes in the movies when they're like, yeah, you could kind of, live here and do some stuff around the shop. And he's like, did you just make me a firefighter? And they're just like, no. That made me laugh a lot.
That was a good film.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. There was nothing like groundbreaking in the way it was shot. It wasn't like the music was good. I think everything like that side of it wasn't anything super special, but it really did have heart, and it really did. Like we talked about the critique last week. This was a movie that knew what it was throughout, and it just worked toward that goal.
Be yourself. Be yourself. Be yourself.
A lot of great performances from people you don't get to see in these type of roles that really knew how to represent that demographic, that type of people, and it felt genuine to that. It wasn't a caricature of this group of people. It wasn't Jersey Shore or something like that, but it was these really authentic characters dealing with life and the ups and downs and the struggles and Alex, like you pointed out earlier with his artwork, that he was someone that had talent, but that didn't mean that he was then instantly great. He still had a long way to go, and they kept that genuine quality to it, which I really enjoyed.
I really enjoyed his relationship with his girlfriend too. I don't think I mentioned that. I think from her end more, I liked his acting obviously, but I liked her just like she genuinely loved him and genuinely cared about him, and he would push her away constantly, but she just like was always just kind of still there because she loved him so much. And that, I think that's so real. Like a lot of times you think people don't really care about you and they just genuinely love you, and you push them away and they're just kind of hurt, but they still love you. And I think she portrayed that so great. I really, really enjoyed her performance.
You don't seem jealous or upset at all.
I do care. Of course I care.
She was really good. I think, yeah. And what a great character.
Yeah. That's I liked when the mom wouldn't let him move back into that scene where he like kind of expects, he's like comes there, he's like, oh, I'm so sorry,
Yeah,
for what
I've learned my lesson.
I've learned my lesson. Like, and then she's like, cool, okay, you still need to leave. Like, you're not living here. I loved that. So great.
Oh, totally reminded me of when I was a kid and I was like, I finally did the thing that I was supposed to do. I was like, yeah, but you got to do that every day. I was like, oh, really?
In
I
that
can't just
same,
do it this one time.
Yeah. In that same sense, I liked how the movie kind of ended. I like that. So some movies that like tie everything up nice and pretty, and then some movies just like end with no resolution at all. And this one kind of did that, but it showed you that he was like moving in the right direction where his life needed to be, and that's where it ended. Like it was like, okay, like the audience understands he's like kind of turning his life around. We don't have to like fix his relationship with this person, fix his relationship
10
with this
years
person.
later.
Yeah, exactly. They don't have to do that. Like it was like, okay, he went to the thing with his girlfriend and, you know, stuck around with her, and then it just that was it. And I think that was fine, because a lot of times I get really angry at movies when they like don't explain things and don't tie certain things up. I get really mad, but this one, I think it was a good ending. I liked it.
Yeah, and on that note, loved all the Kid Cudi and just other general kind of like stoner rap that, you know, that Pete Davidson, that's like his total vibe. So
yeah,
I just thought that they did a really good job with the tunes in this one too. It was fun.
This one's rated R, but I don't remember there being that much stuff in it. Maybe there's just a lot of swearing.
I think there's a lot of language and like some sexual scenes and stuff like
Was
that.
there?
But
Yeah, there was there.
Where you see his butt or something. Oh yeah,
no
like
nudity,
fire
no
station.
nudity, but well, maybe yeah, but
Butts
no
or
real graphic.
No,
qualities.
I feel like
there.
I feel like the film industry's kind of moving away from sex scenes, which is a good thing in my opinion. But you don't really see all that much nudity anymore. I think maybe after the Me Too movement, women were kind of like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. You know,
right.
I think that's good. I think that's a good thing. I think it's better for storytelling. You don't need it, in my opinion. That's just my opinion, though.
no, I think that's a good way to say it. Yeah, it's just like it's been used in the past just generally to sell more tickets, and I think that yeah, they don't need it. You're completely correct.
Yeah, I do think that the comedy overall in this one, it wasn't just grotesque or over the top. Like they didn't really try to push the boundary in any way. It all felt like it was rooted in whatever was going on in the situation. It was you know, not really a dramedy even. It was still a comedy, but it had a lot. It really hit that sweet spot that Judd Apatow has really honed in of it being a genuine movie about family and life and difficulty, while also being very funny and very genuinely funny. It wasn't trying to just be, you know, grotesque or what am I looking for? It wasn't trying to, it wasn't trying to push the boundary just for the sake of laughs. Everything was
right.
there for a purpose, or felt genuine to the character.
It kind of felt like not Judd Apatow in that way, because I feel like Judd Apatow is always kind of crude, and I love him, but I feel like maybe that's more Pete Davidson's influence more than Apatow.
I don't know. I feel like Judd Apatow's movies have gotten more family oriented and less like pushing the boundaries as he's gotten older and as his kids have gotten older and gotten involved. I think he still is willing to push the boundaries if it's necessary, or if he thinks it will make the joke happen. But I think that he's gotten a little bit more mature with his taste. But maybe, I don't know, that's just my opinion of the whole thing.
Either way, it's fine.
Crashing with Pete Holmes had a nice tone. He really likes the Pete's these days. But
he's into the Pete Davids, the Pete Daves. That's what it was.
Pete Davids and the Sons
Pete
and the
Dave.
Holmes.
The Pete Daves.
Yeah.
But that also had a really like there were moments that kind of crossed the boundary, but it was never like the tone of the whole movie.
Yeah.
Marisa Tomei was excellent in this film. I don't think we've talked about her enough. She is just knocking it out of the park with everything she does. She just has such a great variety to the role she takes on, and it felt like a real mom who had been through some stuff.
Yeah, if I were to use one word for me, or just how it felt for me, I'd say authentic. And I thought it was also cool. Just, I think this was a way for Pete to show how he was processing the loss of his dad and stuff. Which we probably, I mean, I know he makes a lot of really, really dark stand-up jokes about his dad, like being killed in 9/11, which is like, his kind of boundary pushing stuff. But this kind of was an opportunity for him to be like, yeah, I really miss my dad, and this has been like really, really hard for me. So
yeah, I think that he talked about in the making of that the New York ways to kind of just distract from the thing, and this felt like he used his stand-up to push it away, and this was him actually letting it like sink in and letting him actually process the whole thing. And I thought that was really good.
Yeah, that scene at the bar where they're all telling stories about his dad, I thought was awesome.
The scene at the baseball game where he really gets to go into like, I don't think that firefighters should even have families because it just means that they're gonna like lose their dad at some point. But such a genuinely honest like feeling, and then but then for him to come back later on and get to have that kind of to find the men that he needed in his life through the firemen, the firefighters, that was something that he needed to grow up.
The random, very short scene with Machine Gun Kelly, I thought was kind of, I don't know. I guess
thought that was him.
That was
like
him.
Him and Pete are like buddies, and I thought that was kind of, it was weird that he was just in one scene for like 30 seconds. And I don't know. I thought it wasn't, if I were to pick a scene that I thought was kind of unnecessary and stupid in that movie, I think.
I guess I don't even remember what happened.
There's the scene in the tattoo shop when he's trying to get an apprenticeship with a tattoo.
Okay.
Although I did like him calling out the dude's crappy tattoos. Like, I thought that was funny.
Let's say some idiot walks in, right? And he wants to get a tattoo of a Confederate flag wrapped around the Grim Reaper. You can tell that guy himself, right? Because that's a ridiculous tattoo to ask for.
So we talked about this last week. Relatively new person in Davidson. Is this someone that you would like to watch more of his work? We've obviously seen Apatow do a lot of stuff before, but what did you think of Pete Davidson as his lead? Do you think he's capable of playing other characters? What would you like to see him do going forward?
I'm not sure he could carry my interest in a different role. Like, I was very interested in him playing this character, but I can't see him as another lead. And I guess I'm trying to think of him as like a superhero or as like a crime boss. Maybe I think he could play like roles in movies, but I'm not sure he could carry a film.
Yeah, like a Christopher Mintz, please, or something like that. Like
I don't think he could be like a Christian Bale or a, something like that. But
I don't think he wants to be that.
No. I don't. But I think he could be more like a Chris Pratt. Like, he's got his little bits that he does in the movie, and he has a good chunk of the movie. But I'm not sure I would want to watch him. But that's not really totally fair. That's just, again, I'm just guessing. He's never. He could prove me wrong. I'd be happy with that.
I think, man, for me, it's like, Apatow and all that crew. It's like Seth Rogen's always kind of just played himself a lot of times, or just the same with James Franco, and like just kind of their whole crew. It's like just a bunch of comedians hanging out and laughing together. And so I think he could definitely be used as just like a similar character.
Agreed.
Like I said, I'm a big fan of his comedy, so I'll watch him in whatever. If he lands like a role as like as Abraham Lincoln or something, I'll probably be balking at it a little bit.
That's good. Thank you.
All right, so it's time for the verdict, boys. How many thumbs out of 10 are you giving it? Alex, we're starting with you.
I'm going to give it 8 out of 10 thumbs.
Wow. Todd, what are your thoughts?
Start to finish, great film. I don't think it was life-changing. I don't think, I can't give it a 10. I don't think I can give it a 9, but I can give it an 8. I can give it an 8.
All right. Todd, what are your thoughts?
I'll go ahead and say I bought this movie on Amazon without having seen it prior. So I was destined to probably like this movie whether or not it was actually good. I'm giving it, I'm assuming I liked it better than Alex, so I'm going to say 8.5. Like, it's not Lord of the freaking Rings, but, it's awesome. And I freaking really loved this movie and the actors in it. So 8.5 for Todd.
All right. I'm going to give it, I do think my only knock against it, I think it could have maybe been cut a little bit shorter. That's really my only complaint. I thought the music was good. I thought all the acting was good. Characters were genuine. The costumes were great. Overall plot was really solid. I'm going to give it an 8. I think it was really good. 8 thumbs out of 10 for me. It's definitely worth a watch.
It's not family friendly.
Definitely
family friendly.
It is an R.
Unless you got like just a gross family.
That's true. Or an all-adult family, right?
Yeah,
that's true. Not kid-friendly.
Not kid-friendly, but definitely worth a watch for our mature adult audience.
Unless your kids have tattoos.
If you let your kids have tattoos, they can watch this movie and they will love it.
Yeah.
It is a good cautionary tale for getting tattoos, though. After watching this movie, I was like, maybe I should hold off on getting any more tattoos.
And don't smoke weed because it'll do this to you.
All right. That about wraps it up for this week. Next week, coming at you with another Netflix original? We don't know. But a Netflix at-home viewing, it is The White Tiger.
When I first saw him, I knew then this was the master for me. I want to be a driver for your son.
Hey, how much rope?
Hey, don't do that.
Hey, driver!
I'm Pinky. Nice to meet you.
Balram, have you ever seen a computer?
We had many of them in the village with the goats.
The goats are pretty advanced to use computer.
Okay, now you're being a jerk.
I didn't like the way he had spoken about me. Since I was a boy, the desire to be a servant had been hammered into my skull. I, Balram Halwai, I drove the car. I was alone in the car. They made me sign that confession.
Why would you kick him? Why would you hit him like that?
You're my driver!
I want to break free. I want to break free.
They had plans. I had plans too.
I want to break free from your lies. You're so self-satisfied. I don't need.
I would have to become a creature that gets born only once every generation.
The white tiger.
That's what I call myself these days. I'm just one who has woken up while the rest of you are still sleeping.
We're looking forward to it. We hope you join us next week. Have a great week. We'll see you next time.